Singapore is a stressed nation. I've never seen a group of people as stressed as those in Singapore.
Now, is this true? Let's see why she feels this way and see whether you agree with her or not.
As someone who has lived in both the United States and Poland and traveled extensively across Europe and even to Dubai, I've never seen a group of people as stressed as those in Singapore. It's not something you immediately notice, especially because the city itself is so clean, orderly, and modern. But spend a little time here and you'll start to pick up on it. The relentless pace, the long working hours, and the constant pressure to perform. Singapore's success story is undeniably impressive. This tiny city-state with almost no natural resources has risen to become a global financial, and technological powerhouse. But that success has come at a cost. When your country's only resource is the ingenuity, discipline, and hard work of its people, the stakes are incredibly high. Every individual feels the weight of contributing to the nation's progress, and that creates an environment of constant competition.
Actually, I completely understand where she's coming from about the constant competition in Singapore. When I visited recently, it was almost impossible not to notice how driven and ambitious people were. It actually feels like everyone is striving to be the best, whether it's students aiming for top grades or professionals fighting for the next big promotion.
Education, for instance, is one of the most competitive I've honestly ever seen. Students are pushed to excel from a very young age, often attending extra tuition classes after school to ensure they don't fall behind. Exams are treated like life and death events because the results determine not only what schools they can attend, but also their career prospects. It's no wonder that Singapore consistently ranks high on lists of countries with the most stressed students. And it's not just the kids. Adults are under immense pressure too. The cost of living in Singapore is among the highest in the world. And while salaries are generally good, the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, to own property, to provide for a family, to keep up with rising costs is ever present. The drive to succeed professionally is so ingrained in the culture that working 12-hour days is often seen as normal. Weekends? Those are often spent catching up on work or ferrying kids to enrichment classes. Singapore's pursuit of being the best in everything, whether it's having the best airport, the cleanest city, or the most efficient public transport, Singapore thrives on excellence. While this ambition has created a nation that's the envy of many, it also puts a lot of pressure on its citizens to maintain these standards. You can feel it in the air, the rush, the need to get things done quickly, and the unspoken expectation to excel. What's fascinating, though, is how Singaporeans internalize this stress. They keep going, heads down, pushing forward. There's no open frustration, no loud complaints. It's almost as if stress is just part of life, a price they're willing to pay for the nation's success. But as an outsider looking in, it's hard not to feel a bit of concern. In places like Poland or even Dubai, like people seem to find more moments to breathe, to slow down, to enjoy life. Here in Singapore, it feels like everyone is on a treadmill that never stops. Of course, don't get me wrong. Singapore's achievements are inspiring, and its people are some of the most hardworking I've ever met. But that even success has its costs. It left me wondering, is there a way to balance ambition with well-being? Can a nation continue to thrive while giving its people room to breathe and enjoy life? Singapore's story is still being written, and I'll be curious to see how this balance evolves in the years to come.
That's interesting. What do you think about all this? As someone who comes from Africa, which is home to the world's poorest population, I really find Singapore's journey to be truly inspiring. Yes, it is true that the level of pressure and intensity in Singapore might seem too extreme, but when you consider their history and the challenges they faced and are still facing, it becomes very clear why they had no other option than to adopt this do-or-die approach in order to guarantee their survival. I really think Singapore was left with no choice than to adopt this approach or this strategy. And look at where they are now, a small nation with practically no natural resources that has grown to become a global superpower. That is beyond incredible. What are your thoughts about all this? Do let us know in the comments below.